Hi, folks. Russ Tippett here again. Want to laugh for a day? Some folks a lot smarter than I am have informed me that I talk funny. I talk like I'm a hillbilly. Well, guess what? I am a hillbilly and I'm proud of it. I absolutely love these old hills where I live. Our people, our wildlife, our environment, nature, our slower way of life for sure. Yep, years ago I had one of those highly intelligent university professors announce to the entire class of which I was a member, I was a student, that I speak with what is known as a substandard Southern Appalachian deviation. That professor was most likely correct. Now, with that enlightenment, sit back, relax, and enjoy this little bit of hillbilly humor. Appalachian humor to be more accurate. Not long ago, I shared a bit of Appalachian country one-room school history with you. We old-timers know there was always a little house behind the country schoolhouse. This little jewel of Appalachian humor has a lot of truth in this delightful poem. Well, sort of truthful. Here goes. Enjoy. The Little House Behind the House. Author unknown. I came across this little gem hanging on a wall while I was sitting at a gas station here in Hill Country where I live, where I'd made a serious business stop for myself. For me, personally. One of my bygone recollections as I recall the days of yore is the little house behind the house with a crescent over the door. 'Twas a place to sit and ponder with your head bowed way down low, knowing you wouldn't even be there if you didn't have to go. Ours was a three-horror with a seat for everyone. Everybody. You left there feeling much better after your usual business was done. You had to make these frequent trips, whether snow, rain, sleet, or fog. In our little outhouse, you'd most likely find a Sears Roebuck catalog. Oftentimes in the dead of winter, the seat was covered with snow. 'Twas then with much reluctance to our little house you'd go. With a swish, you'd clear off the seat, and trembling with dreadful fear, you'd blink your eyes and grit your teeth as you settled on your rear. I recall the day that Granddad, who had stayed with us one summer, made a little trip to our little outhouse, which proved to be a real bummer. 'Twas the same day that my dad had finished painting the kitchen green. He had just cleaned up the entire mess that he had made with rags and gasoline. He tossed the rags in our shanty house hole as I recall the days of yore, and our little house behind the house with a crescent over the door. Now, Granddad, he had an urgent call. I never will forget. This trip he made to our outhouse lingers in my memory yet. He sat down on the shanty seat with both feet solidly on the floor, then filled his pipe with tobacco and struck a match on the outhouse door. After the tobacco began to glow, he slowly raised his ear and tossed that flaming kitchen match in our shanty house hole without a single thought of fear. That blast that followed, I'm sure, was heard for miles around, and there was poor old Granddad just sitting on the ground. His smoldering pipe was still clenched in his teeth. His suspenders he held tight. Our celebrated three-horror was blown completely out of sight. When we asked him what had happened, his answer I'll never forget. He thought it must have been something that he had most recently ate. Now that's the end of the story with my memories of long ago, of the little house behind our house where we went when we had to go. That's all for now, folks. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of humor. See you at the next spot. Keep smiling. Bye-bye. Poxy just reached up and bumped my leg. She knows I'm done. She says bye-bye.